Now in some weather news, amid the prevailing dry weather conditions, the Department of Meteorology is forecasting that several districts will not receive rain until March. The gravity of the situation has been exacerbated, with the National Water Supply and Drainage Board stating that there is only enough water in major water sources to supply pipe-borne water for another 3 months.
Farmers are among those who are already facing the impact of the water shortage due to the inability to irrigate their fields. The Department of Irrigation says that while farmers were instructed to only cultivate between 50 and 60% of arable land, the farmers have cultivated 75% of arable land. Irrigation authorities note that only 76% of cultivated land can be preserved and that up to 24%, amounting to about 35,000 acres, is at risk of withering due to the shortage of water. While more than 8,000 acres of arable land is cultivated in the Natchaduwa scheme in Anuradhapura under normal circumstances, this time farmers have only been able to cultivate 3,000 acres. When the drought persists for 2 months, there is no proper mechanism to overcome the problems. Had the tanks been properly renovated, the tanks would have filled with the Maha-season rains. If that was the case, then at least fields near the tank would have survived if the drought continued. Farmers cultivated with the decision that was taken at the seasonal meeting. We cultivated about 200 acres. They should have some program to protect this 200 acres. Meanwhile, farmers from the Kaltota agrarian settlement in Balangoda claim that they were not instructed by any authorities to limit cultivation. Water from the Samanala reservoir irrigates the 2,260 acres of paddy fields in the Kaltota settlement, but the reservoir only contains about 432 cubic meters of water at present. Given the circumstances, hydropower generation has already been halted at the Samanala reservoir. People in several districts are facing a shortage of clean drinking water. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says the water supply to the Kandy, Polonnaruwa, Ampara, Matra and Hambantota districts has been limited. The water supply to the Kurunegala town has been reduced to about 12 hours a day since last week due to the receding water level of the Daduru Oya.
Though the Urban Council says that the water cut will only be in the afternoon, we're experiencing a water cut since morning.
Please provide us with water, at least using bowsers. The water supply in the Hatton town has also been limited due to the receding water levels of the Singhamalay and Invori reservoirs. Our reporter says that for several days now, the town has only had access to pipe-borne water for about 15 hours a day. News1st captured this footage of the falling water levels of the Mao Sikale, Castlereagh and Upper Kotmale reservoirs. Meanwhile, our reporter in Monoragala says the town can only access pipe-borne water once every 4 days. The persisting drought has had a far more serious impact on the 55% of the island's population who are dependent on natural water sources for their daily needs. The chairman of the NWSDB says the Ceylon Electricity Board has agreed to limit hydropower generation given the gravity of the situation. While steps have been taken to drill 400 new tube wells, measures are also underway to repair and restore about 1,000 tube wells across the island. We call on consumers to be extremely conservative when using water and to only use water for the bare necessities. Use alternatives to clean homes, wash vehicles and clean drains. We are also calling on the industrial sector not to release any pollutants into rivers. On the one hand, the drought gives us an opportunity to build new reservoirs and to renovate waterways and anecots. His Excellency the President is already prepared to deploy the Triforces for this endeavour to gradually increase the capacity of all reservoirs. By renovating all of the waterways, we are looking for a silver lining in this black cloud.
අපි මේ කළු වලාවේ රිදී රේඛාවත් හොයන්න සූදානම්.